Travel back in time and witness history in the making. The Brothers' War is a new look at one of Magic's classic tales, a battle between two brothers that shaped the future of the entire multiverse. Wield powerful artifacts like colossal war machines and intricate schematic cards. Are the lessons of the past enough to save the future? Hello everyone, my name is Elspeth, you're watching the Planeswalker Pantheon, and today we are opening up a draft booster box of the latest Magic the Gathering set, The Brothers' War. Let's get into it, shall we? And we don't need more of a preamble than that. I think we know what's coming on. We are getting Forexia. We're getting old school Forexia, really. This is original Forexia. Brothers' War Forexia. Alright, so we'll pop this open. Jeez, there we go. Got some great work of Urza and talking about the draft archetypes. The set is fun. I did my first draft of it. I enjoyed it. First pack up. Tear tabs are the best thing that Magic has ever put onto a booster. We have our schematic, well, not a schematic, but our old school card is Bonesaw. And our first rare is Simian Simulacrum. So for 3, you get an artifact creature ape. It's 2/1. It enters the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, put 2+1/+1 creatures on target creature you control, and you can unearth it for 2 and 2 green. We have Astronaut's Harvester. A bunch of uncommons and some commons right here. Thankfully, these are the Japanese style packs. So we can just get to the good stuff straight away. Next one up. Oh yay, more punch-out tokens. Oh, we've got a foil steel exemplar right there. We have a self-assembler. We have a terrestrian mindbreaker. So for 7 mana, you get an artifact creature as the Juggernaut which is a 6/4. When it attacks, defending player mills half their library rounded up, and you can unearth it for 1 and triple blue. Got some uncommons here, and the rest of these are commons. I enjoy the prototype mechanic because I think it was one of the Zendikar sets. Actually, it might have been World Wake, where you had just these big, massive creatures and just very battle cruiser style magic. With prototype, you can get those same cards at a little cheaper cost, a little bit less powerful, but it's appropriately costed for us. Ooh, Ica Wellspring, that's a nice hit. We have Soul Petition, so for 1 and a white, you get an instant. Exile target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell may cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. Yeah, I went with sort of like a black-red, sort of sacrificey, and a little bit of white, actually, I can't lie. I did have Platoon Dropper in my draft deck as well, so went with a little bit of white to mix that up. Did pretty well, went with a 2-1 record, kept coming in second, so I can't ever complain about that. Oh, we've got Sigil of Valor. This is actually one of the schematic cards, so you can see it looks a little bit more like a blueprint rather than an actual bit of artwork. It's still artwork. We have Kaya's Reconstruction. So for X and triple white, you get a sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put X artifact and or creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So there's Obstinate Baloth reprint is always nice to see back. At uncommon, not a rare. Now that Liliana's in the format, we've got a little bit of a sneaky way to fight Liliana. We pitch that, put into play, have a bit of fun. More Power Stones. Oh, we've got a Sculpting Skill. I'll read the rare ones. So 3 mana, it's an artifact. You may have the Sculpting Skill enter as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield. We've got a Fortified Beachhead, so it's a land. When it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a soldier card from your hand. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you reveal a soldier card this way or you control a soldier. Tap to add white or blue, and 5 and tap. Soldiers you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. I believe already there is a standard blue-white soldiers deck, which I've played against, and it's actually quite good, I must say. Next one up. Alright. Oh, we got our foil rare. It's the Temporal Anchor. So for 3 and triple blue, you get a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 2. Whenever you choose to put one or more cards on the bottom of your library while scrying, exile that many cards from the bottom of your library. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with the Temporal Anchor. Good old Foundry Inspector. And we have our first mythic. It's Awaken the Woods. So for X and 2 green, you get a sorcery. Create X 1/1 green forest dryad land tokens. They're affected by summoning success, so you can't attack them or tap them for land. They basically create a bunch of dryad arbors, more or less, but it's not searchable by land tutors. So that's what I opened that token literally on Friday night, so that's what makes them. Good to know. I just had my light bulb moment. Love that when it happens live. Well, we have a foil Painful Quandary. This is our second foil rare of the box. 3 and 2 black. It's an enchantment. When an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. During my pre-release in Two-Headed Giant, I had 2 copies of these, both in the same pack. We have another Ica Wellspring. And we have Haljar Loyal Bodyguard. So for red and a green, it's a legendary creature, human soldier. It's a 3/3. Sacrifice the bodyguard. Legendary creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain indestructible until end of turn. Junkyard Genius. My deck actually on Friday night had 2 of those things, and it won me games. I just can't wait to draft more of the set. I'm just so excited because I wasn't playing in like the original sets when the Brothers War was sort of the focus. So sort of seeing this modern take. Oh, we've got a Keening Stone. This is just a regular art one. So 6 mana, it's an artifact, 5 and tap. Target player mills X cards, where X is the number of cards in that player's graveyard. We have a Mechanized Warfare. So for 1 and 2 red, get enchantment. If a red or artifact source you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead. So it's a little mini Torbrand. Research desk. Very, very nice. Alright. Next one up. We've got Thopter. We've got Astronaut's Altar. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact, sacrifice a creature, add 2 colorless. We have Gitaxian Puppeteer as well. So for 3 and a black, you get a creature, Forexia Warlock. It's a 4/3. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, when each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. When the Puppeteer dies, return another target creature card with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Avenger, Jadecraft, and more Baloths. Man, Magic has changed so much for Obstinate Baloth, of all things, to be downgraded to uncommon. I think it was a rare back at its first printing, if I'm remembering well and correct. Alright, got a Power Stone. We've got Quicksilver Amulets. We're coming thick and fast with the rare old artifacts. 4 mana, it's an artifact. Tap, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. We have another Temporal Anchor, which we won't read. We will flick through. Corrupts back. Mono Black, anyone? Would Mono Black Devotion come back in Pioneer? I wonder. Or at least some version of it. I remember that deck back from Standards of Past. I think it was Return to Ravnica Theros, if I remember the blocking correctly. We've got Phyrexian Revoker. 2 mana, artifact creature Phyrexian Horror. It's a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a target non-land card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated. We've got Underground River, so it's the blue-black Painland. Tap to add a colourless, or tap to add blue or black, it deals 1 damage to you. One thing I should note while we're talking about these old artifacts, though, is that they're going to only be legal in draft, where you draft them as part of your draft pool, or in whatever format those cards are already legal in. They won't be legal in Standard. I believe on Arena, they're legal in Explorer, Pioneer, and Historic. So Explorer and Historic? I can't quite remember. Power Stone, Calamity's Wake. We've got a good old Millstone right there. Oh, we got Fauna Shaman. I thought this was reprinted. So for 1 and a green, you get a creature Elf Shaman. Green tap, discard a creature card, search your library for a creature card, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle. I forgot that Fauna Shaman got a reprint in this set, actually. I might have missed that preview. Personally. I probably didn't miss it for the Planeswalker Pantheon, which is where you should go to find more content, but knowing me, I probably forgot, or saw it and I just completely forgot about it later. Oh, hang on, these are meant to be on this side. Alright. Got a Chromatic Star in the old border, which is nice for those Tron players out there. Oop. And we have Siege Veteran, so 2 and a white, you get a creature human soldier, it's a 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever another non-token soldier you control dies, create a 1/1 colour soldier. Jotun Tactician, very nice, in the same pack. Jeez, I would have loved to have drafted this pack here. Slam the Siege Veteran, maybe with the gold creature, and sort of go on from that. Alright, next one up. Alright, so all nice forest, Ornithopter, and our rare is Misery's Shadow. So for 1 and a black, you get a creature's shade, it's a 2/2. If the creature an opponent controls would die, exile instead. In a single colours, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's the best shade ever. And we'll be throwing it at all times. Alright. I'll get that in a moment. Next one up. Power Stone. Oh, we've got Scrap Trawler, good old Kaladesh card. 3 mana, it's an artifact creature construct, it's the 3/2. When it or another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return to your hand target artifact card in your graveyard with lesser mana value. Got the Stonebrain, so 2 mana legendary artifact, 2 and tap, exile the Stonebrain. Choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. The player shuffles and draws a card for each card exiled from their hand. Activate only as a sorcery. More of a constructed sideboard card, even then that's kind of loose. Because you literally only get 1 shot at it. More constructs for Boulder Branch Charm, Pristine Talisman, and we've got another mythic. It's Teferi Temporal Pilgrim. So for 3 and 2 blue, you get a legendary Planeswalker Teferi. Starts at 4 loyalty. Whenever you draw a card, put a loyalty counter on Teferi. 0 mana, 0 loyalty, draw a card. -2, create a 2/2 blue spirit creature token with vigilance, and whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. -12, target opponent chooses a permanent they control and return it to its owner's hand. Then they shuffle each non-land permanent they control into its owner's library. For Jolly Excavation. Jeez, that's a lot of text on a Teferi, and I've seen a lot of Teferi. Seen and played with a lot of Teferis back in my time. Alright, next one up. And Teferi. Good. Alright. We've got a Plains. Ooh, liquid metal coating in the schematic artwork. We've got Blast and nicer. Got War of the Spark reprint. It's a land that enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it. Tap to add colours. 2x tap and put X charge counters on Blast Zone. 3 and tap, sacrifice Blast Zone, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on Blast Zone. Very nice to see that get a reprint. I mean, as much as I'd love to open one of the serialized cards. I mean, who knows, I might. I'm not counting on it. It'd be cool though. Bear token. So this is what the bears look like. Got a swamp. Oh, we've got Howling Mine with the original artwork. It's a nice touch, I'm not going to lie to you. 2 mana artifact at the beginning of each player's draw step. If Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card. And another mythic, it's Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. 7 mana artifact creature, Phyrexian Worm. It's a You can prototype it for 1 and 2 black, and it's a 3/3 instead. Otherwise, it's a 7 and 5. Regardless of if you prototype it or not, it has Menace and Lifelink, and it has War to pay life equal to Forexia and Fleshmonger Gorgeous power. Very nice. It's a big thing, that Flesh Gorge, I'll tell you that much. Alright, next. We have a Star Golem. A little more mount, pretty full art. Chromatic Star. And Fateful Handoff. So 3 and a black for a sorcery. Draw cards equal to the mana value of target artifact or creature you control. An opponent gains control of that permanent. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know if that would have any... I mean, that could be a good commander card. Depends on what you want to trade off, though. Got a more power stones. Ooh, Springleaf Drum. We have Titania's Command. So for 4 and 2 green, you get a sorcery. Choose 2. Exile target player's graveyard. You gain 1 life for each card exiled this way. Search your library for up to 2 land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle. Create 2/2/2 green bear tokens. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. I mean, if you're playing that in limited, I'm assuming you're doing the last option, because 2/2/2s plus whatever you have on the battlefield plus 2 +1/+1 counters. Also, Giant Growth is back, baby. It's been such a long time since I've seen Giant Growth not in a supplemental set or like in print at all. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we have another Power Stone. Oh, Inspiring Sanctuary. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact. Non-artifact spells you cast have Improvise, which creature could be good and limited. We have Legions to Ashes. So for 1 white and black, you get a sorcery. Exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls, and all tokens that player controls with the same name as that permanent. Alright. The fact that we had Defabricate and Desynchronize literally right next to each other is kind of funny. Alright, next up. Alright. We got our foil. Good old Soul Guide Lantern. Skystrike Officer. So 2 and a blue for a 2/3 creature human soldier with flying. When it attacks, create a 1/1 color soldier artifact creature token. Tap 3 untapped soldiers to draw a card. I wonder if soldiers... I mean, soldiers never really had a big impact in Khan's block standard, but the fact that they're sort of making soldiers a thing in Brothers War standard is quite good. Ah, there's the spirit that the Teferi makes. We'll Defabricate. Self-assembler in this cool schematic artwork. We have Tarnos the Toymaker. So for 3 green and blue, you get a legendary creature human artificer. It's a 3/5. Whenever you cast a beast or bird creature spell, you may copy it, except the copy is an artifact in addition to its other types. Excavation, Little Baby Urza, and Hornstone Seeker as our uncommons. Next one up. Got another soldier, energy refractor, Mishra's Bauble. Actually, during my draft on Friday night, I actually opened the schematic version of this. It looks really pretty. We have a Thran Spider. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact creature spider with breach. It enters the battlefield. You and target opponent each create a tapped Power Stone token. 7 look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I don't know how I feel about giving my opponent a Power Stone token. You're basically giving them free ramp, and all you're getting is a 2/4. Also, Disfigure is back again. Might have opened to go for the throat at some point, but I can't really recall because I'm just doing my thing. Alright, we've got Mountain, Swifty Boots, Diabolic Intent. We're hitting all the commander cards today. So for 1 and a black, you get a sorcery. It's additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, search your library for a card, then put that into your hand, and then shuffle. Disenchant. Man, one thing I should get used to real quick is be able to main board Disenchant. And look, other artifact removal, because they are basically your kill spells for this format. Power Stone. Ooh, Defense Grid. So 2 mana, get an artifact. Each spell costs 3 more to cast except during its controller's turn. Got a Cityscape Leveler. So for 8 mana, you get an artifact creature construct. It's an 8/8 with trample. When you cast a spell and whenever a Cityscape Leveler attacks, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent, its controller creates a tapped Power Stone token and you can unearth it for 8. Whoops, that's just a normal rare right there. I had to try and not sing Well Boys This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race because I saw that card. Youth. I mean, I'm still relatively young, but you get the point. Alright. Ooh, Pretty Island. Ooh, this is a nice one. We got Ramos the Dragon Engine in the schematic artwork. So 6 mana, legendary artifact creature, dragons, it has flying. Whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Ramos for each of that spell's colours. Remove 5 counters, add double Wooburg. Activate only once each turn. Jeez, someone's going to want that. That's so cool looking. Then we have Lauren of the Third Path. So 2 and a white, you get a legendary creature, Human Artificer. It's a 2/1 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. Tap you and target opponent, each draw a card. And we got the baby Lauren too. That's actually kind of nice. In the same pack. That's flavor, Wizards. I know it's completely random and we have no control over that, but that's flavor and I can respect that. Alright, next one up. More punch-outs. Ooh, Elsewhere Flask. Jeez, this brings back memories of the very first Pro Tour I ever watched. Ooh, we got the Might Stone and the Weak Stone. So for 5 mana, you get a legendary artifact Power Stone. When it enters the battlefield, you choose 1, draw 2 cards, target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn, and tap to add 2 colours. It can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells because it itself is a Power Stone. And it melds with Urza, Lord Protector. I'm going to show you the bottom half so you can preview that. I doubt we'll open both halves, but hey, girl can dream, right? But I'd play that. 5 mana, kill something regardless, draw 2 or draw 2. And it acts as a double Power Stone. Actually, I realised it was double colours just now. Power Stone. Coating. Draconic Destiny. So for 1 and 2 ready enchantment aura, enchant creature, it gets +1/+1 and has flying, haste, and 1, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and it's a dragon. When enchanted creature dies, return Draconic Destiny to its owner's hand. Thopter Architect, Thran Vigil, and Flow of Knowledge. Just good old flow state. Next one up. Got a Power Stone. Got a Swamp. We have a Sigil of Valor. And we have Visions of Phyrexia. So for 2 and 2 red, you get an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't play a card from exile this turn, create a tapped Power Stone token. Very, very good. I played that. It's fun. It's either card advantage or you ramp yourself into potentially bigger and scarier things. Next one up. Alright, more punch out. Whoops. Ooh! Schematic Ornithopter. Very cool. And we've got Teething Wormlet. So for 1 going to get a creature worm, it's a 1/1. It has Death Touch as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. This is the first time it resolved this turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on the Wormlet. He's a happy little boy. Mishra. And there's a go to the throat. I knew there was going to be one, at least one somewhere. next one up. He just wants old metal toys. Another punch out. Oh, we've got Cloud Key. So for 3 mana an artifact, it enters the battlefield. Choose artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Spells you cast at the chosen type cost 1 less. We have Transmogrant's Crown. So it's an artifact equipment for 2 mana. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. When equipped creature dies, draw a card. Equip it for 2 or for a single black. Alright. We are nearly at the bottom of the box. We are seeing the end. Oh, I panicked for a moment. There's a foil there. We have a regular Ornithopter. And we've got another mythic. It's Gix Yawgmoth Predator. So for 1 and 2 black, it's a legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor. It's a 3/3. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, they draw a card. 4 and 2 black, discard X cards. Exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. I actually opened this in Two-Headed Giant, and my opponent had very evasive creatures. So I was like, alright, I'll have my opponent do all the drawing, because technically they're dealing damage to one of my opponents. Glittering Bolt is a nice little upgrade for a Lava Quill in formats where that is relevant. And where you can use all the bits. Got a 3/3 zombie, artifact zombie, raised to the ground. Good old Burnished Heart, remember that from original Theros. We have Stasis Coffin, so 3 mana legendary artifact, 2 tap, exile the coffin. You gain protection from everything until your next turn. Why is it that I'm seeing some cards for the first time in this? Who knows? Alright. Next one up. Soldier Token. Foil Bonesaw. Unfortunately not schematic or serialized, but hey, foil Bonesaw and all school borders look cool. We have a Jalen Tome. We have Theldon Ronim Excavate. So for 1 and a red, you get a legendary creature, Human Artificer. It's a 2/2 with haste. It can't block. When it's dealt damage, exile that many cards from the top of your library. Choose one of them until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. Got the altar and the rest of that. I think we've got one more pack. Yes, whoop. We've got one more pack, and that whole pile just fell. We will get to that one more pack right now. Alright, last one. Last soldier. Got another Bonesaw. We got a Brushland, so it's the green-white pain land. I won't go into reading because we had the blue-black one just before. And there's our uncommons, and we'll flick through the rest of this, and that will be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe. It lets people know that I exist and that I'm opening packs of cards, whether or not you'd like to watch it or not. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, links down below. You can also find me on the Planeswalker Pantheon on Facebook. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.